Okay, so we're gonna look at this transcript together. The one that you sent me on 11/15, because I'm not gonna write an email. It's too long and there's not enough patience in the world. So, and I think it'd be easier to go over together over video anyway. So pull up the transcript. I can see that you warmed up a little bit on the first page, so we're gonna skip that. Oh, my leg. Oh, been sitting on my leg all day. All right. And I see on page two, you were writing down all of the information pertaining to that case in your transcript. That's a good and bad habit to pick up, because what if you lost your transcript? What if your hard drive corrupted, etc., etc.? So you always want to have two backups, never just one backup of what's going on job-wise. So sure, you can keep writing it in your transcript, but maybe write it down somewhere on a piece of paper or something like that, because what if you need the information that's in this transcript, but you're not at home at your desk? So somewhere, but otherwise good job. You took down all of the pertinent. You took down a lot more than I would have took down. I would have just gotten like the bare basics, like the questioning attorney, maybe. All right, let's see. First person was CNA, second person. All right, so let's get into some of the, you said you had trouble words in your email and you wanted me to look at it, right? A list. Okay, so here's what you got. For good morning, you would do something like MORN. And when it comes to making briefs, you want to do what is smart, if anything at all. Don't feel pressure to make a brief because you feel like it's such a common word that you have to have a brief for it. I do not have a brief for morning. A lot of reporters do. A lot of reporters have a brief for good morning. I don't. But if you wanted to brief good morning as something that made sense to you, you could probably do something like GORM. Maybe that'll make sense to you. On page 3, line 7, you have depot written out. DEP. Dep. What else could it be? If you want to do like depot, that would probably be 2 strokes, but you probably write deposition more often. Primary language. Okay, so you wrote primary, primare. So you could do primary as something like prime-re. So when you're making briefs, you want to make, like I said, you want to make it make sense. You don't want to do just the first half of the word or the last half of the word. You want, if I was to read this, which I can read your steno, but if I was just, you know, another reporter that you didn't know and I was looking at your notes, I would do prim air and then long. Usually steno notes make sense, kind of no matter who reads it, especially with like kind of uncommon phrases like this. So for primary language, you would do something like prime-re, and then language, LA, long A, lang, and then come back widge. Because if the reason you want your briefs to make sense, the reason I'm saying that over and over again is because you can't always rely on having your audio. I have not had my audio when doing a transcript more times than I care to remember, and all I had to go off of was my notes. And if you shorten something too much, you're not going to be able to read your own notes. But at the same time, if you drag something out too far, either you may not be able to read it or you're going to miss the next several words. So I'm not telling you this because like you should have known by now, or like you should get this in the next 24 hours. This is just, I'm planting seeds so that you can continue to apply them and they can continue to grow throughout your practicing. So you're doing good though. Date of birth is DOB, girl. DOB. I think we went over that. It's D. I'm judging you for that one. DOB. Date of birth is DOB. And then South Florida. Yeah, so with your states, we're going to go over your states. I'm not going to cover that in this video. I'm just going over your transcript for now, but I do like Florida. That's what I do personally, because what else could Florida be? Move. I'm assuming that's move to the U.S. We're gonna go over vowels again, but move would be double O, not M, not O-U. You would do M long O, which is A-O-F, move. And then employed, you could do employed in 2 strokes. I've narrowed it down to 1 because I'm tired of writing it in 2 strokes because it's such a common word. EMD, employed, and then EM is employ. So when you're practicing steno, a lot of it is going to be memorizing briefs and making them up at the same time. So don't feel like you are not allowed to look up or ask anybody what a good brief would be for something. The only thing I would just tell you is don't force yourself to remember something that you don't like. I don't even do that. Nobody does that, actually. And do you have any professional? P-R-O-F-L, professional. Then throw on the S if you want to do professionals. Education. ED sounds pretty good if you like it, but if I took this transcript and held this transcript and then gave it back to you 5 months later, 5 months from now, would you know that ED means education? What's your level of ED? I don't know. It doesn't make sense in the long run, not just in the short term, because this might not order today. Maybe they're going to back order it maybe a year later. Darn it, you lost your audio. Now you have to go off of your notes. Does ED equal education? I don't know. High school, if you want to do HI for high, how's it going? And then HIG, long IG for like high school, maybe. But I looked at this transcript and it looks really good. And then for pronouns, is it pronouns or is it common nouns? We might both have to go over that, more for my education than yours. But for people's names, because I realize you have Carmen Rodriguez in here, you'll know that that is going to be mentioned in the deposition, in this particular deposition beforehand. So come up with a brief for it. Maybe you'll do CRD for Carmen Rodriguez and then CRM for Carmen or something like that. But have something kind of ready to go so that you have these things that already show up in the deposition later on. Now, if somebody mentions a name and you just didn't see it coming, stroke it out, do the best you can, and then I think you might have a brief it, but pull up brief it and it'll offer you a lot of suggestions when it comes to people's names. Share, we're gonna go over vowels, but share is, you wrote it shar. You gotta throw the I in there for a long A because a long A is in share. Property. Good one though. And can you describe. I see what you did there. That was a misstroke. Okay. I see what you were trying to do though, because I could read it. Dribe. I think you sent me a second email and I think I answered a lot of these trouble word questions for you already. And a gated community, calm. I can see what you tried to do there. Will it make sense later on? Now, I'm not going to get on you too much because if somebody pulled a transcript from me, that back order from 2013 when I first started reporting, no ma'am, no, you're just going to have to do that case without that transcript because I can't read anything, but I want you to get into the habit now of not creating bad habits. What else? Is there a fence around the property? I think we might have had a brief for around. I'm going to have to double check, but we'll have a list of trouble words to work on and go over. And then I'll make you another video of really common words. Repair or renovations. I 3-stroke renovations, but if you have something shorter, go for it. But I'm not going to go through this whole video and go through your whole transcript. I think you kind of get the gist of everything, and I'm not going to make it too long, maybe just something short, about 10 minutes. But I think you get the gist of it. Making briefs that make sense. Hurricane Irma is capped, not just Irma, or both of them. And then you'll definitely have a brief for common storms, because you're going to have something for Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Andrew, we have a ton of hurricanes. So these names are going to become super familiar and you're just going to get used to it. So don't panic about names. But like I said, I think you did a great job with this. I see a lot of words that you added to your dictionary. I think citizens doesn't have an apostrophe in it. So be careful of that, things like that, because Lisa will come find you at your house for mistakes like that. So Google a business name, like Kleenex has the little R for registered in their name. That should be defined as the little R registered, or Windex. Citizens probably doesn't have an apostrophe. I don't think they do. So Google the name, even if you're like, I've been there, I've been to Walmart. I know how Walmart is spelled, but does it have a dash in it or does it not? That's important. Do you want Lisa to find you? She will find you. She's good at her job and she's good at finding people. All right, requests, those, yeah. So I see a lot of, don't beat yourself up about misstrokes. That's fine. You were trying to keep up and you traded accuracy for speed, but it won't be that way for long. We're still learning. You did a really good job. So I think I'm just going to end this video here. Oh, you added the commas. You are somebody. I need to start adding my punctuation. Great job. I think you did amazing. Let me know if this video is helpful and if you have any more trouble words.